Namaste and Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with what's happened across the country over the 1st and the 2nd on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti, celebrating Swachhata with Shramdan. Swachanjali to Bapu, Union Ministers taking part in a mass cleanliness drive. 9 years of this entire Swachh Bharat mission, and it's a record of sorts because the unofficial numbers, although the data is still being collated, point to more than 8 crore Bharatiya participating in the Swachanjali. Meanwhile, the e-auction of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's gifts will take place from today, that's the 2nd of October, until the 31st of October. The proceeds from these auctions will be given or will be made towards the Namami Gange project, as Prime Minister usually dedicates it. Asian Games, we're doing quite well. We can do better and we're hopeful of more medals as Bharat shines bright. Parul Chaudhary wins a silver in the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase. Beg your pardon. Preeti wins a bronze in the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase. Ansi Sojan wins a silver in the women's long jump. A tally of our medals is so far 13 gold, 22 silver, 23 bronze. That is about 58 medals and still counting. Nobel Prize in 2023 in Medicine has been awarded to Kathleen Kariko and Drew Weissman for the role in the fight against COVID-19. With that, let's set up the story today. Rahul Gandhi, Congress MP, penning a note on Hinduism. Months after leaders of the Congress's ally, the DMK, stoked the entire eradicate Sanatan Dharma call and controversy, demeaning it and likening it to HIV, leprosy, and even calling for its eradication and total cleaning up, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, in this op-ed piece titled Satyam Shivam Sundaram, spoke about the truths of the Hindu faith, comparing it to a vast ocean that is life and that assimilates all. Rahul Gandhi reflecting on the Hindu way of life, stating it belongs to no one, accepts anyone who embraces it, and also adding that binding the Hindu faith to a particular nation is to limit it. अब हिंदी में कहावत है कि जब जागो तब सवेरा. Those who mocked the Hindu way of life, trying to divide it into isms and twas and saying both are different, etc., now find it all encompassing like the ocean. But is it really a message to those within the INDI alliance who wanted to eradicate what is eternal or Sanatan? Or is it just another chunavi attempt to woo the Hindu voter ahead of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh polls? These are the questions that remain, and we'll debate that through the course of this Right Stand, this edition of the Right Stand. Now, will allies actually heed Rahul Gandhi? That's another question. Udayanidhi Stalin was the one who turned around and said there is a need to eradicate Sanatan Dharma. Whereas Rahul Gandhi writes, Hinduism accepts anyone who embraces it. And it's a vast, all-encompassing ocean. Sanatana is like dengue, malaria and corona. He says it's a path towards realization of the truth. Then, Sanatan Dharma is like HIV and leprosy, says Andimuttu Raja, a baptized Christian. That's what the report suggests. He says, bestowed with deep sense of curiosity, those who have the ability to fight their fears and overcome it and accept all as part of their own, that is the Hindu way. That's what is said. See it as a disease ridden with social stigma. Binding it to a particular nation is to limit it. So one says, let's eradicate because it's bad. That's the ally. Rahul Gandhi writes, no, the whole world has to accept it. You can't limit it to only one particular nation. Well, perhaps trying to attack this whole thought process of a Hindu Rashtra. But the fact is, you're accepting and saying to your own allies, this is the way of life to be, this is the way of life to follow. Need political power to fight Sanatan Dharma. Hindu is humble and always ready to listen and learn. That's what he says. Then, Ramcharitmanas promoted hatred and discrimination is what some of their own leaders have turned around and said, like Chandrasekhar. And what Mr. Rahul Gandhi says, Hinduism loves, respects, accepts all paths as her own. Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram keshavam prati gacchati. That's what even our scriptures say, something what Mr. Rahul Gandhi is espousing. Hinduism not a religion but a hoax, says Swami Prasad Maurya. But Rahul Gandhi says it is now we mitigate relationship by fighting our fears. So some questions arise, ladies and gentlemen. Is Rahul Gandhi's ocean reference, is it to drown out the Hindu hate agenda that's being propelled by certain allies within this entire alliance committee of contradictions? Is Rahul Gandhi's letter to the INDI allies to fall in line, is that an indication? Well, this is the line we've got to take. आप गलत line पकड़ के चल रहे हो. Is this letter an acceptance that Hindutva is integral to Bharat and Hindutva is required or necessary for all of humanity? Or is it a chunavi move with an eye on the Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh elections? Let's dive straight into the debate. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, L. Hanumantaiah, Rajya Sabha MP and Swami Dipankar, spiritual guru, should be joining us this evening. Sanju Verma is through with us. Sanjuji, Rahul Gandhi has penned a letter. Is that a message to the BJP, as many are looking at, or is that a message to the INDI alliance members?
आनंद जी, you are well aware अभी चुनावी मौसम दरवाजे पर खटखटा रहा है. You know, with elections round the corner and knocking on our doors, literally speaking. Are you surprised? Am I surprised? Is anybody with an iota of common sense who follows Indian politics closely surprised that Rahul Gandhi suddenly seems to have, transitioned from a so-called Hindu-phobic person to somebody who now seems to be believing in all things Hindutva, Hinduism, what have you. But without getting into rhetoric, I always love to speak with data, and that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. Do you remember, Anand, that, on 20th July 2009, that's a very important date, and not many people talk about it. On 20th July 2009, Rahul Gandhi told the then American envoy, a very senior American diplomat, Timothy Romer. He told Timothy Romer in an interview, Timothy Romer or Timothy Roma, what have you. He told him that, what is more dangerous to the integrity and the democratic ethos of India is Hinduism / Hindutva more than terror or terrorism or terrorists of any kind. I mean, this man goes on foreign soil, he gives an interview to a leading American envoy, and he rubbishes Hinduism. I will not even, go down that lane. We are all aware that be 2006 and 2007, all through 2008, the Congress petitioned the Supreme Court repeatedly, saying, Bhagwan Ram ka to koi astitva hai hi nahi. The fact that Prabhu Ram does not exist is something that has been, espoused by the top brass of the Congress repeatedly. The fact that Ram Setu does not exist, this is also something that the Congress has been saying over and over again. And don't forget that when Kapil Sibal, now of course, very conveniently, he's a Rajya Sabha member from the Samajwadi Party. But for the longest time, Kapil Sibal was a bona fide congressman, and he clearly said कि जिस दिन राम मंदिर बन जाएगा मैं तो उस दिन खुद को विध्वस्त कर लूंगा. I will commit suicide. I don't know whether he meant that metaphorically or literally speaking, but it shows the deep-rooted hatred that anybody from the Congress ecosystem has for Hinduism. But I want to just ask Rahul Gandhi one thing.
Yeah.
Rahul Gandhi calls himself a Dattatreya called Brahmin. आप यदि Dattatreya called Brahmin हैं as per your own admission in public domain, why is it that, forget what Udayanidhi Stalin said, you may say that, he was an alliance partner, leader, I don't comment on my allies. But why is it that when your Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge's son, who happens to be a minister now in the Karnataka government, actually endorsed Udayanithi Stalin's claims, saying, what is wrong in saying that, Hinduism is akin to a disease? Rahul Gandhi ke muh mein to dahi jam gaya. Did you see Rahul Gandhi condemning it? No. Priyanka Vadra ke muh mein dahi jam gaya.
No,
Sonia Gandhi ke muh mein dahi jam gaya.
Sanjuji, those who have said certain things in the past can also mend their ways. Ratnakar was also a dacoit before he turned to the correct way of life and eventually penned the Adi Kavya. So it is possible. There was a king who slayed many before he turned and became one of the greatest Raja Rishis, and then the Brahma Rishis, and the Gayatri mantra was propounded by him, which is the most powerful mantra in Vishwamitra. Vyasa was not. So it is possible. That's perhaps the beauty. So those who said something in 2009, those who had a particular position in 2007 and argued for it, can change their positions in 2023.
Just in 20 seconds,
and they can also point fingers at those who are accused of weaponizing Jai Shri Ram or politicizing the faith on Bhagwan Ram.
Okay. आनंद जी, आपने बहुत बढ़िया कहा कि हर किसी को बदलने का हक भी है और लोग समय के साथ circumstances के साथ बदलते भी हैं. But I don't want to use this language, but वो जो हिंदी में कहावत है ना, KUTTE, कि तुम कभी सीधी नहीं होती, तो राहुल गांधी का वो हाल है. And I'll tell you why. I come from Maharashtra, Mumbai, and do you remember, Anand, that horrific manner in which two Palgar sadhus in front of 200 policemen were lynched openly in full public glare in April 2020? और उस वक्त सरकार उद्धव ठाकरे की थी in coalition with Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi did not even deem it fit to condemn, forget expressing any remorse or regret. And let me tell you, after that Nupur Sharma incident in June 2022, you had Kanhaiya Lal being butchered in ISIS style under Ashok Gehlot's long nose. Rahul Gandhi had no time for even a basic condemnation of what happened to Kanhaiya Lal.
Your position is that this is all nothing but a posturing, and that is because chunavi mausam aaya hai, so this is just posturing. Mr. Hanumantaya and Swami Dipankar ji, namaste, Jai Hind.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your patience and for joining us
Namaste,
this evening.
Namaste.
What is your point of view, Mr. Hanumantaya? Is this a message to the DMK and to people like Mr. Priyank Kharge? Stop abusing the Hindu way of life. Is this the message to them? By Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
By
Mr.
Rahul Gandhi has been, Rahul Gandhi has been talking these issues not today, not yesterday, not 1 year back, from many years. He always pleads for real Hinduism, and the Hindutva which is spreading the hatredness in the country is wrong. That is his opinion. And he always pleads for Gandhiji's Hindutva, which propagates a living together, and all the religions has to be respected as per the constitution. That is the real Hindutva. That is what Rahul Gandhi has been pleading. And today also, whether he speaks at Washington, whether he speaks at Spain or in India, he is of the firm opinion the real Hinduism never preaches hatredness on any religion. And any religion for that matter is not a religion of hatred. For any religion for that matter. So, but for politics, the netas of different political parties, particularly the BJP, I am accusing straight away, they are using the Dharma and the Hinduism for the consolidation of majority, which is not Gandhiji's Hinduism, which is not the real bhakti cult which was grown in the Middle Asia, Middle India. It was not the Hinduism which is always pleaded for hatredness. But today, it is being used for the power, it is politicized, it is spread for the hatredness of the other religions for the benefit of political power.
So,
that
Mr.
is what Rahul Gandhi is very clearly opposing.
Okay, so let me ask you, Mr. Hanumantaya, so what Mr. Udayanithi Stalin and Mr. Andimuthu Raja had said is not hatred at all. It's a lot of love.
No, I am telling you, come, I'll answer that question. Udayanithi and Andimuthu Raja, what they have said, it is an extreme step that they have taken on Sanatana Dharma. I am of the opinion, Sanatana Dharma, everything is unbiased or everything is with hatredness. No, it is not that. There are good things in Sanatana Dharma and the bad things also in Sanatana Dharma, which they have selected the bad things of Sanatana Dharma and started giving a statement of extreme steps.
So when Mr. Andimuttu Raja, Mr. Priyank Khadge, Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin and the others turn around and abuse and speak the kind of language that they have spoken, that is all right because that's their point of view. There is no hatred
No,
there.
that has to be-
There is
that
no
has to be
hatred
countered.
there.
No,
There is a
please
lot
listen.
of love. And
Please
that
listen, my
Sanatan
dear.
Dharmis should actually hear all
Please.
of this because they are supposed to hear all of this. Is that what you are trying to say, sir? Or are you
please
trying to
listen.
say that,
Please listen
that
to me.
whatever
Please
they
listen
are
to me.
practicing is
One
not
sentence.
Hindutva, is not Sanatan Dharma, and they are actually creating, driving
they
a
are
wedge
not
in
practicing
society?
Hindutva. As far I have, to my knowledge, whether it is Andimuttu Raju or Mr. Udayanidhi are not practicing Sanatana Dharma, and they don't claim that they are Hindus, they claim that they are Dravidians. And Dravidian culture and religion is totally different from your Sanatana Dharma and other Hindu.
Sir, this is a new philosophy, this is a new logic that you
we
are
should-
actually bringing towards, sir, which is fantastic, Mr. Hanumantaya.
No,
So anybody
this
can
is-
say
this
anything
is-
because
this is the
we are supposed to be tolerant
No,
and all encompassing
this
and
is the
listening to your order. Sir, Mr. Hanumantaya,
don't
you are
bring
a
intolerance
parliamentarian.
into this.
I credit you
Don't
with a
bring
certain level of
intolerance into the dialogue
certain level
parliamentarian. So I
of
am telling you.
understanding and knowledge, sir. Please understand, Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin and Mr. Andimuttu Raja do not practice Sanatana Dharma. You are true, you are correct. They have actually embraced another faith. You should
Yes.
say that. There is no different religion in Dravidianism because Dravida means the meaning itself is that a land that is wedged between two bodies of water. That's what the Dravida
that
Nadu
is,
means.
see,
Everything south
do
of the
you-
Vindhyas is
do you
Dravida
Periyar
Nadu
Ramaswamy
technically.
practice
Let's try and
Sanatana
understand.
Dharma?
Sir, please don't try and
Periyar
please
Ramaswamy
don't.
practiced
I
Sanatana
have a very clear, I have a very humble request. Don't try and
should have a
unnecessarily
difference
twist
of opinion.
arguments
You
and
should-
be
you should
economical with
respect
facts
the
when you
opinion
know
of
the truth.
different kind of people
No,
in this
sir.
country.
Then, sir, then, Mr.
no,
then,
you
Mr.
should
Hanumantaya, you
respect the
cannot be
opinion of
intolerant to
different
one
people in the
particular
country.
point of view on Hindutva, whereas you should be
I am
tolerant
not.
to be
I am
you'll be
not.
tolerant to another variant point of view that abuses Hindutva.
You are-
Please, sir, you
are-
cannot, sir.
You are making me to be
No,
intolerant.
no,
You are
no,
making
Mr.
me
No,
to be
Mr.
intolerant.
No,
It is
Mr.
not
Hanumantaya.
correct. It is
Mr.
not
Hanumantaya,
correct.
you must
It is
sit
not
here.
correct.
If you
You
have
should
the
respect
gumption
the
to,
opinion of
if you
others.
have the gumption to respect what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said and you believe that what he said is true, then you should sit here and say it's a clear message to those people who are abusing Sanatan Dharma. It's a clear message to the likes of Andimuttu
No, I am
Raja,
telling-
Priyank
I am
Khadge
telling that.
and Udayanidhi
No,
Stalin
it is-
that they need to mind their words and mend their ways. You must have the gumption to say it. And what they are saying is not Sanatan.
That is,
One
that
minute.
is for them to express
Okay,
their
no,
opinion.
why are,
Counter
no,
them.
no, no, one
Counter
minute, sir.
them.
Then you are also politicizing on the name of Hindutva,
Then why
on the
are you
name of
discussing
Hindu
about
faith.
them here?
No, Mr.
See, I
Hanumantaya,
am telling
Mr.
about Rahul
Hanumantaya,
Gandhi
then,
has
sir,
been a real Hindu.
Mr. Hanumantaya,
Yeah.
if you choose to point fingers at the BJP,
Tell me.
then you must also point fingers at those who are abusing Sanatan Pratha. You can't just selectively point fingers at the BJP because it's
No, that is
politically
their
convenient
opinion, yeah.
while you provide cover fire to your allies. Please don't do that. One minute.
No, I am not.
One minute. Let me
I
go
am
to
not
Swami
doing it.
Dipankar.
You are wrong.
No,
You are wrong in that.
Mr.
You are
Hanumantaya, please
wrong
yield.
in
Mr.
that.
Hanumantaya, please yield.
I am
Please
not covering
Mr.
anybody.
Hanumantaya,
I am not
okay.
covering anybody.
Okay, your point taken. Please yield. Swami Dipankar ji, namaste. In the Bhagavad Gita, Yam Imam Pushpitam Vacham says Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, that means people will use lot of flowery language and flowery words and they will misquote and half quote. You are not supposed to fall for that. Will you put this letter in that bracket or will you consider it differently?
मैं आनंद भाई, आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी जी सुन पा रहा हूं स्वामी दीपंकर।
मैं जितना भी अभी तक बहस सुन पाया या जितना भी अन्य पैनलिस्ट को सुन रहा था, मैं एक चीज तो समझ में आता है अभी बहुत क्लियर कि आपके फटे होने के कितने दुष्परिणाम होते हैं कि कोई भी आता है, मजाक बनाता है, ग्रांटेड लेता है और लेकर चला जाता है। आप लोग तड़पते रहिए, कहते रहिए, बोलते रहिए, किसी पर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। इटली के एक विचारक थे, नाम उनका मैकियावेली था। वो अक्सर एक बात कहते थे, बोले कि डेथ विल किल यू लेटर बट योर इग्नोरेंस विल किल यू मच बिफोर इट। मौत जब मारेगी मारेगी, नासमझी पहले मार डालती है। तो कुछ लोगों को नासमझी अपना अधिकार लगने लगे तो मैं इतना ही कहूंगा कि फिर कुछ कहने और बोलने को बहुत ज्यादा रह नहीं जाता। पर हाँ, ये सब मेरे ही धर्म के साथ क्यों होता है, यक्ष प्रश्न ये है। ये सब सनातन के साथ ही क्यों होता है, यक्ष प्रश्न ये है। हिंदू और हिंदुत्व की बात करने वाले लोग इतना भूल जाते हैं कि क्या फल से रस को अलग किया जा सकता है, क्या सूर्य से प्रकाश को अलग किया जा सकता है, क्या जीते जी शरीर से आत्मा को अलग किया जा सकता है? नहीं किया जा सकता। परंतु हिंदू और हिंदुत्व को अलग कर कर देखते हैं, हेट्रेट की बात करते हैं। क्या ये हेट्रेट की बात नहीं? इधर आप राम मंदिर जाने की बात करें और उधर मयंक खड़गे हिंदू और हिंदुत्व और सनातन पर अब शब्द बोले। आपका अलायंस,
हाँ जी,
उदयनिधि स्टैलिन, प्रियंक खड़गे, सॉरी प्रियंक खड़गे उधर से सनातन के विषय में कुछ अब शब्द बोले या कुछ ऐसे शब्द बोले जो करोड़ों लोगों की आस्था पर कुठाराघात हो। उदय से आपके ही एक अलायंस उदयनिधि स्टैलिन सनातन के उन्मूलन की बात करें, डी राजा HIV कहें और ये सब जायज हो जाए। यही मैं आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पर और आपकी मौजूदगी में आनंद भाई कह रहा हूं, अगर थोड़ी सी भी रीढ़ है, हैसियत है, यही किसी और के विषय में बोलकर देखिए। हिम्मत जुटाइए तो सही। मैं कह रहा हूं पांव कांपने लगेंगे, बोलबीटा भी पी लीजिए तो नहीं खड़े हो पाइएगा। बयान बहादुर बनकर चले गए बोलकर। पर एक बात बहुत सिंसियरिटी और बहुत जिम्मेदारी के साथ कह रहा हूं
जी
कि अब सनातन बटेगा नहीं सर, सनातन टूटेगा नहीं, सनातन संगठित होगा, यूनाइट होगा और सनातन एक होकर भविष्य की चुनौतियों का सामना करेगा। एक तरफ कर्नाटक में क्या बोला जाता है, दूसरी तरफ राम मंदिर जाने की बात होती है कि मंदिर बनेगा तो मैं भी जाऊंगा। हमारे साहब इधर समाजवादी पार्टी के महासचिव रामचरितमानस की पंक्तियों को जलवा देते हैं अपने 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 लोगों से और मुखिया कहते हैं कि हम राम मंदिर जाएंगे। ये राजनीति होती है और ये दूषित राजनीति है। मगर आप लोगों को बांटकर, लोगों को डिवाइड कर कर, लोगों के मनों को तोड़कर आप चल पाएंगे? कितना पॉलिटिक्स कीजिएगा?
So who's politicizing and who is not?
सोते कैसे हैं आप लोग?
Yeah, who's politicizing and who is not? Is that not very clearly evident? I have a viewer who's just sent me a message saying, does Mr. Hanumantaya realize on whom he is named? He is named after Hanuman. Hanuman is born in Kishkinda, which is in Dravida Nadu, whereas he is revered as Bajrang Bali all across the country, even across North India. So how can he say that the religion of the Dravidians is different? So that's another viewer's suggestion and his viewer's observation. Yes, Sanju Verma, you put your hand up. Ji.
Yes. Anandji, the other thing I wanted to draw the attention of your viewers to, you said, हर कोई बदलता है वक्त के साथ. But if you remember, during his Bharat Jodo Yatra, राहुल गांधी spent 20 long days in Rajasthan. मैं राहुल गांधी से पूछना चाहती हूँ, it is very fine that you've written an op-ed सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम. यदि आप में सत्य थोड़ा भी बचा है तो बताइए कि 20 days you were stationed in Rajasthan. Why did you not visit the greatest Sanatana Mandir there called the Salasar Balaji Mandir? Ulta, we are all aware that under the long nose of Ashok Gehlot, Salasar Balaji ka gate तोड़ा गया था, and after a hue and cry, that gate was restored. They actually even wanted to transport the murtis from the Salasar Balaji Mandir to elsewhere. And point number 2, do you remember that when Rahul Gandhi started his Bharat Jodo Yatra, he had for company a man, a pastor called George Ponaiya. George Ponaiya not only rubbished Hindutva, Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma, what have you, he also said कि भारत माता पर चलना नहीं चाहिए without wearing shoes or slippers, नहीं तो आपको scabies हो जाएगी. And I want to ask, in the last 24 hours, do you know, Rahul Gandhi, what has happened under the incompetent leadership of Siddaramaiah? Shiva Moga is burning. Why? Because you want to pay homage to the likes of Aurangzeb and Tipu Sultan, but Hinduism को कोई यदि कुछ कह दे, आपको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है. And don't forget, Anand, that in November 2021, there were massive riots in Nanded, Malegaon and Amravati.
and 8 to 10,000 strong Muslim crowd surrounded 200 Hindu homes. और यदि पुलिस वहां पर नहीं पहुंचती, these 200 to 300 Hindu homes would have been completely burnt. And don't forget that Rajasthan mein, when Hindus were taking out in 2021 a Shobha Yatra in Karoli, a Congress councillor called Matlub Ahmed and his gundas, they threw Molotov cocktails, they completely indulged in vandalism and arson. मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ, has Matlub Ahmed been arrested?
See,
the answer is no.
I'll tell you what, it's easier, this is where you are accusing the Congress of politicizing, the Congress is accusing you of politicizing. The fact of the matter is, first, there is an effort to try and divide the entire Hindu fraternity, Swami Dipankar. The moment you divide it into castes, but you do this entire caste census only with one particular varna or one particular group of people community, you try and keep everybody else as grouped, but there is enough and more castes there. So that's again divisive politics. Secondly, it automatically becomes a Hindu versus Muslim or a Hindu versus someone issue. The fact of the matter is, those who conveniently use Hindu faith, Hindu beliefs, Hindu way of life for their own political means. जब मर्जी किया दाएं से ढोल बजाया, जब मर्जी किया बाएं से ढोल बजाया. This is something which they get away with. स्वामी दीपांकर,
कहना चाहता हूं आनंद भाई, मैं इतनी सी बात, आज बिहार के अंदर भी हम लोगों को गिना गया. आज बिहार के अंदर भी जाति गणना किया गया. आप सोचिए कि हम लोगों को बता दिया कि आप कितने हैं, आप कितने हैं, आप कितने हैं. कभी एक बार हिम्मत जुटा करके किसी मुस्लिम में पिछड़ा, अति पिछड़ा, महापिछड़ा करने की हिम्मत जुटाई? कभी किसी क्रिश्चियन में पिछड़ा, अति पिछड़ा, महापिछड़ा करने की हिम्मत जुटाई? और मुझे दुख उस बात का भी होता है, आपने सही कही आनंद भाई, कभी कोई इधर से कर देता है ढोल की तरह, कभी कोई इधर से ढोलक बजा देता है. क्यों? क्योंकि पता है कि कास्ट सिस्टम, एक पुराना शब्द था ना कि डिवाइड एंड रूल, मगर चीजें बदल रही हैं. मुझे दुख इस बात का होता है कि आज समय के इस पड़ाव में 21वीं सदी में आनंद भाई के शो पर बैठ करके संजू वर्मा को भी इतना ही वक्त मिल रहा है, जो मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बैठे हैं उन्हें भी इतना ही वक्त मिल रहा है, जो स्वामी दीपांकर बैठे हैं उन्हें भी बराबर वक्त मिल रहा है. किसी की हैसियत नहीं किसी का वक्त काट दे. आप पुराने मंडल कमंडल के लेके युग में जाना चाहते हैं? 21वीं सदी में आप भारत को क्या देना चाहते हैं? जातिगत जनगणना, जातियों में बांटना. मैं इस महापाप की, जातियों में बांटने की, जातियों में डिवाइड करने की इस नीति की मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं. इतिहास लिखा जाएगा कि 1931 में 3000 जातियां थी, 23 में 6000 जातियां हैं, और अब आप बढ़ाकर उसको 12000 करना चाहते हैं.
So this is further. No, this is nothing but divide and rule politics.
Divide करने में.
No, so the letter is talking about one vast ocean, Mr. Hanuman, but the language spoken and the actions are all about divide and breaking it into parts and pieces, compartmentalized. You yourself did it on the show tonight. It's being done with the effort of a caste census.
No, you please allow me to clarify one thing. Your constitution allows you to practice whichever religion.
Sir, our constitution allows us. Your constitution and my constitution are not different,
Yes.
sir. Our constitution.
That is what I am talking. Our constitution, I mean to say, it is not your, it is not mine, it is our constitution.
Thank you.
Allows every citizen of this country, once he is a citizen, to practice his religion whichever he likes. That is the reason that they
But
never...
the same constitution, sir, does not allow anybody to abuse another faith or another person's religion or faith. The same constitution, please quote.
Definitely not.
So then they are doing it.
That definitely.
Then they are doing it and getting away with it.
With you. On the
and the
other
court
hand,
has not taken cognizance. The party has not taken cognizance. The alliance has not taken cognizance.
Please listen.
Yes, please.
Nobody has to do anything on the other religion. You cannot do that. There is a law to take action on that.
Has the law taken action?
If you say Manu Dharma is my Hindu religion, Manu Dharma is my religion, can I accept it?
Did anybody say it?
If you say,
did anybody say it, sir?
That is what everybody says.
No, who's saying? Please quote, please tell. No, don't just make a generalized statement, Mr. Hanumantaya. Please tell me one person who said Manu Dharma is my religion.
Do you know?
There is nothing called Manu Dharma. There is a Manusmriti,
do you know?
but there is a Parasara
Arre,
Smriti also. There are multiple Smritis and there are multiple codes and edicts which are written in the Sanatan way of
many
life.
Swamijis
I am asking
in
you,
this
sir,
country,
when somebody does
telling
the
Sanatan
constitution
they were
allow, no,
telling
Mr.
that
Hanumantayya, does the
Dharma.
constitution allow a non-Sanatani to sit there and abuse and claim for the eradication of Sanatan Dharma? If that's a gross violation of the constitution,
No, I am not doing that.
has anybody
See,
from the
if
INDI
you are
alliance taken
practicing
umbrage to
Sanatan
that?
Dharma, it
Have
is
their
your-
arrests been made? Has
It
the
is
courts
your
taken
wish.
suo moto cognizance?
But don't harass those who are not practicing.
Sir, on
Mr.
the one
Anand,
hand, a
please
letter
listen.
is being
If
on
you
the
are
one hand, a
practicing
letter is being
Sanatana
written to
Dharma-
unite,
No, no.
and the actions are of divide. So then the walk and the talk are absolutely divergent. And please, once again, sir, to
That has to
underline,
be countered.
underline,
That has
sir,
to be
in
countered
Thrissur,
separately. That
my
has to be
hometown,
countered
there is a
separately.
temple called the Vadakanatha
That has to be
temple.
countered
Vadaka means north,
separately.
Lord of the North is Shiva, and that's why it is all present, sir. All our Jyotirlingas,
Sir.
our Shakti Peeths are all across
Sir.
the Bharatvarsha, even not all those lands which are today not part of Bharatvarsha.
understand,
That's how all encompassing
in
it is,
most
sir.
of the
So
village-
please do
in
not
most of
divide
the
and say
villages-
the religion of the
in most of
Dravidian
the
lands are
villages of
different.
this country,
No, sir, you made a very,
the
very objectionable
untouchables are
statement when
not
you said
allowed
that the
inside the
Dravidian way of
temple.
life and religion is wrong.
No.
Please, sir, that was a wrong statement.
It
I
is-
played,
that Dravidian way
I am
of life
raising
is there in
objection
this
to it,
country.
and I'll prove
There
it to
in
you
this
multiple
country.
times, multiple times. Finally,
you
sir,
are free to
finally,
raise your
final word,
objection.
Sanju Verma.
I
I
am
have to
free to
wind up.
express
Final,
my
no,
opinion.
no, Mr. Hanumantayya. Parliamentarians have to show a certain level of probity and
No, no, you are
responsibility
free
when
to
they make their
express your
utterances.
opinion.
They
I am
cannot,
free
no,
to
sir, they
express my
cannot,
opinion.
they cannot
Please
just get away with
understand,
making
the Constitution
flippant
gives
statements.
me
There is
the
nothing called, there is
provision of
nothing called Manu
expressing
Dharma,
my
sir.
opinion.
There is nothing
And
called
on
the
the
different,
other hand,
different
you
religion is
can
the
believe
Dravidian
and
way
you
of
can
life.
address.
These are all politically driven statements. They are not backed with facts. Yes,
That is
yes,
your
yes, Miss
opinion.
Sanju.
Yeah,
No, no, sir, it's not my opinion, sir.
Hanumantayya,
I am
You have
not.
to
I
respect
am
my
an ordinary
opinion.
citizen. I am an
You
ordinary
please
citizen of
respect
this
my
country.
opinion first.
I am a television media journalist. You are a parliamentarian. More probity is required from you and expected from
Yes.
you, sir, when you make those statements, sir.
I
With
am
due
satisfied.
respect.
I am telling
Yes, Sanju
you,
Verma ji.
Dravidian way of
Sanju Verma
life
ji.
cannot be-
Mr.
Sanju Verma ji.
Hanumantayya, please. I did not heckle you.
Sanju
please.
Verma ji, final word. Have to wind up. Ji.
थैंक यू आनंद जैसे दीपांकर जी ने कहा कोई भी आकर हिंदू धर्म और सनातन धर्म पर हमको कुछ भी कहकर निकल जाता है आई वांट टू आस्क मिस्टर हनुमंतैया यू कीप सेइंग दैट देयर इज द कास्ट हायरार्की विद इन सनातन धर्म एंड वी आर अगेंस्ट कास्ट हायरार्की अदरवाइज वी आर नॉट अगेंस्ट सनातन धर्म हैव यू स्पोकन अबाउट द umpteen denominations within the church? There is the Brethren Church, there is the Church of England, there is the Methodist Church, there is the Pentecostal
why should I-
Church,
why
there is
should
the
I speak
Independent
about
Charismatic
Christians?
Church,
No.
there is the Dalit Church.
My submission, I have to wind up. I have to wind up with this whole submission. Let us not talk in language that divides communities, that divides groups of people, that divides humanity, that divides Bharatvarsha as people. Let's just talk as one. That is also supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen, the Hindu way of life. We're going to take a very short break as we thank our panelists on debate number 1. When we come back here on the right stand, we turn the spotlight towards Canada and a very close to aide who spoke with CNN News 18. But did he take the right stand against extremism? We leave it for you to decide when we come back. Stay with us.